mine is settling into that tuning still. So could you play around those chords just so I can tune?
Hello, Mr. Ravi.
Hello. So
very nice to have you in my house.
I'm honoured. I am honoured to be here in your house in the wonderful world of Boston.
Exactly.
So thank you for coming to what is one working title is the Songwriter series. We've had some wonderful artists so far. I'm so pleased that you could be part of this. So I'd like to start by asking you if you can give us a brief rundown of your musical background, was there music in your family? I'm guessing there was. And you come from a musical background and the cultural background to that.
Yes, I come from a musical background. Exactly, a musical background in the family, and a musical background in the town, and a musical background in the county, and then in the country. I think Venezuela is a very musical place. In the family, both my parents, they play the cuatro, and in the county, the Lara state in Venezuela is very famous for its music, and it's called the musical capital of Venezuela, the Lara state. And there are all these jokes and even poetry, and within the music talks about and it's true, in every house of, well, at least in the past when I was there, in every house of Barquisimeto, of the capital, or in Lara, people have a cuatro hanging on the wall. And I saw that thousands of times, because people love music so much that even if there are no musicians in the house, they have a cuatro, and then if your musicians arrive, it's very normal to, hey, you're here, please play us a song. So it's very, even within the country, Lara State is renowned for having, cuatros in all the houses. And then I also, so within this county, there are towns that are very famous for their music and their traditions, and there are many of these towns. From one of them, and every town, it's they hold a really strong identity. We always say that your town is the best, and it's not from rivalry. How do you say the word? Rivalry, like rivalry.
It's not rivalry.
Rivalry.
Right, okay.
It's about being so connected with the land and with your tradition and with the love to the music that you say. In my case, I'm from Sanare. When I say that, people knows about music. And then in Sanare, as well as so many, which is Lara State is a beautiful. It's in the center west of Venezuela, and you have the capital Barquisimeto is half on a valley. That they are, sugarcane they used to have a lot of sugarcane plantations and maize plantations. And then the other half is in a desert. So it's very desertic. We have, cactus and stuff there. And then you cross all in the same region. Actually, and part of it, they also call it the Door of the Llanos in the center west. So you have a bit of llanos, then you have the sugarcane plantations, and in the valley, you have this desertic area, and then you go towards the mountains, and this is the beginning or the end of the Andean Cordillera, the chain of mountains.
Chain of mountains,
of the Andes.
Right.
So I'm born there, in the mountain, and it was a journey that I did for my whole life, since I was very little, between the mountain, deserts and valleys, and it's really rich in landscape. And in there we have the tradition of Tamunangue, which is a ritual, it's a ceremony related to the solstice. You can't do it at any other time.
So what you said, the solstice?
The solstice.
What's the solstice?
The 21st of June. When to celebrate the sun.
Oh, okay,
solstice.
right, the solstice. So the solstice.
And it's a party of gratitude, because you give thanks for the harvest, and is related to San Antonio. You know, it's a place of syncretism, because it has a touch of Catholicism, paganism, you know, Indian music, and it's kind of classified within the Afro-Venezuelan culture. And this is called tamonangue, which is a whole ceremony, and it can start, you know, like the day before, playing the whole night prayers, you know, singing prayers, and then you wake up with the tamonangue, which is, you know, it's a lot of drums and a lot of cuatros. So this is what we did in my town, but in that town you can hear a lot of music, like the music from the plains is also very important in my background, because in Venezuela the music from the plains is the national music. So it has a very important place in the radio, and in the practice of the people.
What would be the normal instrumentation with that music?
For the
music from the plains? Apart from the cuatro.
The cuatro, maracas, and harp.
That's the traditional format.
Yeah.
Right.
And in the last maybe 70 years, the electrical bass. Yeah. And it's really strong. But it's interesting. I think one of the kind of connectors that I do now, what I realize is all this music is very attached to the land, to nature, to the landscape, to the sun, to the sky, to the moon.
And that's what the songs are about as well?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, and you use the nature as a metaphor to express your feelings, or what you need, or what you want, or the stories that happen to you. They always happen within that context. That's why I always argue or bring to awareness that sometimes people think about folk music. Of course, it has an ancestrality, but it has something really present. You know, through folkloric music, we are always talking about eternal things. You know, the cycles, the moon, the stars, the infinite expansion are eternal things. So they are very, very present. When I always clarify that, look, I do folkloric music, you know, it's ancestral, but it's, you know, we are also here, it's relevant, and it's present.
It's relevant to now as well.
Absolutely. You know, look how the condition of the planet where we are, you know, like all the destruction that we're doing, we're destroying the habitat and the how do you say, what nourished the folkloric music. And it's not only gonna kill the folkloric music, it's killing us, regardless that you are in a big city. You know, I'm talking now from London, and we have to say, like, I mean, for me the awareness is that nature is so powerful. Even if we are in this big city, we have the moon over us and the sun, and if we leave a house empty for 3 months, you know, nature is going to take over. You know, we have this vitality in our feet, you know, we have this richness, you know, gold, diamonds, everything that you want is under our feet right now as we speak. And that's beautiful, and this is the awareness that this music gives me. That's why I feel always rich.
So that was your sort of musical background, as it were, and I guess you would have come with a whole repertoire of songs, of traditional songs that you came with this background, this musical background.
Yeah.
You're kind of I mean, like, you know, we all did, you know, from you know, in my background in the West, you know, I was brought up with all the pop music, the Beatles, the Stones, and you know, and that whole kind of but also the folk music. But within, from where you come from, you've kind of got a kind of a whole history, a catalogue of traditional songs.
Yeah, traditional songs, but also salsa, also the Beatles. They were big in Venezuela when I was little, and you could hear them in the radio. Or my uncles, you know, people. in my family, everyone would listen to all type of music, and that was beautiful. Yeah, I think this is beautiful to have been exposed to so many type of music.
So shall we? Is that a cue for a song? Maybe a song from that area, from that tradition.
Do you want to hear from Lara State or from the Plains?
Well, it's up to you.
It's up to me.
Yeah.
Let's go with the.
Which one was it? The one that I was playing with the, or with the chord?
Let's do one from Lara State.
So if you can just introduce this one, what's this song?
This song is called. It's a tongue twister. It's a very old song, and I love it. I hope I can pronounce these words right, and my song always corrects me. It's a hawk, you know,
a bird of prey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, please pronounce it so it's clear? What is it?
It's a hawk.
Yeah.
A hawk, right? Okay.
And then I love I love because it's a tongue twister that also within the tongue twister says that if you play an instrument, if you play the cuatro. Whatever happens to you, you are always, things are gonna be always, fun for you, in love, financially, in life.
Presumably, it was written by a quattro player.
Yes, but it's really interesting because within the lyrics in the tongue twister, when I realized that this is what it says, and I was always really happy and empowered to the fact that, oh yes, great, if I play the cuatro,
and has it worked out like that?
Yes.
So it's true.
And then it's also the analogy about the hawk, that is coming to take away things from you, because imagine it's a very old song, so in the countryside you have to be aware for this animal taking your chickens and your stuff. And it's like a two words in the song. It's like the battle and the awareness that the animal is coming, is there. Imagine you are in that context and you are really present because, Lara is also famous for the snakes and stuff. Everything is very intense in the Americas. You're like, oh, a spider can kill you. Yeah. So you're very present and aware of your surroundings. Yeah. And at the same time, so it's like you and this animal, you take the power of the animal, and also with the power of the cuatro, you'll always be within life. So.
So, did you always know you were going to be a musician and singer?
Not really. I mean, I always was somehow, because it's very beautiful. Like where I come from in my town, especially, I don't probably in the whole Venezuela, you don't question if you are a musician or not. You somehow you have from Sanari you have inherited like your right to sing and to express musicality. It's like part of everyone. You don't need to specialize on that. And then I thought that I was like that, but it was here and I always sang. I actually, when I was little, I used to recite poetry, and then it was here where I considered to have it as a profession, because suddenly I was in demand, and I said, oh my God, okay, and then it started to take over, so it's good.
So and how did that manifest? How you started playing this traditional music? When you started to play here, when you were here, did you start to play these kind of songs?
Yeah, I did Latin American studies at Essex University, and when the teachers saw that I was singing and I was in every single event of the university, and from there other gigs started to happen.
And did this eventually lead to Family Atlantica?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, that led to Family Atlantica, and we recorded 2 records. The records, they won awards, and the Songwriter Award as well, and it was really well received. And in that, I was bringing, I always brought the traditional, rhythms and music and stuff, but it was mixed as London.
It was very fusion, wasn't it? It was very kind of London sound, world fusion.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, because
was that intentional? You to create that sound?
Yeah, because it was the realization for me. I was doing traditional music on my own, because at that time, like to produce a tamonangue here, tamonangue is made with about 25 people that are from the same town. And they are specialized on that, so I couldn't replicate this sound here. And also I do other forms of traditional Venezuelan music, and I was like, how I'm gonna do that? There are no enough musicians here like for me to do traditional music. But then thanks to places like Passing Clouds that used to be around the corner from here, and the jamming that I used to go there, and I found with the Africans and with the people that I was meeting here, I was thinking, why do I have to, I'm singing this traditional, let's say, Afro-Venezuelan music that have this lyric of longing from the land, but actually in the present times, I'm feeling the same. And then the connection with the Africans, it was just amazing. So natural, and I will feel at home. And then we all were going through the same stuff, issues with, passports and longing with, these longings became so present as well. And then I thought, wow, I don't need to play a song from, central, from something from the past, when we are all living this same situation. I'm passionate about identities. I always, I love studying it and trying to understand it. And then one of the things with Family Atlantica, I always discuss that we are beyond of what our passport says who we are. Actually, it doesn't, actually. And this is what I was doing with Family, bringing that message, trying to speak about a history, but in a present time.
Was this with your own songs? You were writing songs at this point?
Yeah.
Right.
For Family,
because this is one of the subjects I always touch on, which is, had you been writing songs before you came to this country?
I would, to be honest, the nature of this music, you improvise on the spot, so I never saw the need of writing a song, because I could just improvise all the time, one on the spot about what was going on. It was when, and there I was just happy improvising. It was here when I felt Jesus, okay, and then with family, what do I want to say? And it has to be in verses with a chorus, and then I started to think more as as a songwriter.
And that was writing on the quattro?
On the quattro, on my head. I don't have a very defined method. Don't copy me for the songwriting. It's gonna be or copy me. Just go for it.
Well,
the idea comes, and then I record it on my phone or I write it down.
Well, it's been one of the interesting parts of these conversations, which is how the songs come through. Sometimes they're just received, and there's nothing in the way. Sometimes it's a mixture of both. There's a kind of the inspiration that comes through, and then you kind of work with it with songwriting skills. It's just or it's just improvised. There's many different ways.
I think for me, what it helps me is to think about what do I want to say. Then you think about a subject, and then I think, and then I start making a sentence. And then it starts to flow, then the other sentence, and then you find the rhythm within it. I think it's just playfulness is the best advice, if you want an advice.
Well, it wasn't more about advice, it's more about, how do the songs come to you, more than anything else, really. So you kind of start with a bit of a theme at first.
Yeah, or from a conversation, kind of, oh my God, this comes out, and yeah, I think it's about when you connect with when you feel that I want to say something about this, or it just comes out.
Time for another song?
Yes.
There was one and the second one we did with the kora, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Another one
we can do another one from the plains.
From the plains, yeah. And this is which one's this one called? What's it called?
Mikamagwan. Mikamagwan is a beautiful landscape, in the savannah with amazing sunsets, and it's just so beautiful. The horizon, the connection to the infinite, and I love llanero music, or the music from the plains. It's like the best way I could explain it is with maybe through the Taoist practice. That place where you have the earth under your feet and the sky above, and then you are in the middle, and everything you become everything. This is how I feel. Is the energetic understanding of the music from the plains, immensity, expansion, and love for the land. Te recuerdo, Camagüán, ay mi Camagüán, cuando por la primavera. Te recuerdo, Camagüán, ay mi Camagüán, cuando por la primavera. Cuando por la primavera te vas poblando de aromas y de flores a manera de diamantes.
I just have to say, just on the record, I know I told you just before the interview, but I fell in love with this kind of music when I was about 19.
Oh.
Because I got lucky and I was living with an anthropologist from Venezuela. And it was like living in Venezuela. Because
sure.
we were in this little 2 up, 2 down house in Moss Side in Manchester, just next to the Manchester City football ground. And we were just living together, and it was like I was living in Venezuela because I had the whole culture as well.
So,
and they had
the heating in 45 degrees.
Well, I don't remember that, but it was kind of but I got lucky basically because he introduced me because he knew he'd lived in Mexico and he knew he'd lived in Brazil, so he knew firsthand. So I got introduced firsthand to bossa nova and this kind of music, and he had the quattro, of course, and. So yeah, I'm very pleased to reconnect with this culture in this way. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So thank you. And you've been making a new album, is that right?
Yeah, it's interesting that I was asked. It's really interesting because I've done traditional music my whole life, and all the time someone would say, why don't you record, general music or music from Lara or music from... And then at that time I thought, why do you want to hear me? Just hear the amazing composers I hear, why? And then last year, I was commissioned to do Tamonangue music. And I was, for a record label here in London. And I was like, wow, do you want that? They saw that in an interview I did with Charles Peterson, and they really liked the story of the Tamonangue. And then, Tamonangue is a sacred thing that I'm gonna be, and also it's something that you live, something that you experience. The music is part of the whole thing. You have the music, you have the altar, you have the devotion to it, you have the food, and you have people that goes there with a very clear objective of gratitude. So it's a lot of things happening, and I said, look, it's hard to place this music without all the other elements, and also we agree that we will do the whole ritual, the whole ceremony. You also have a specific dance, 7 dances, 7 songs, and and a prayer and stuff. And then we are gonna do that. For the record, I'm gonna include only 4 songs from the Tamonangue suite, and I'm including also music from the plains and music from the coast of Venezuela, because they were all part of me, at the same time. Because I said, look, if you want to, they wanted also song music that I grew up with, and it's my cause. So I have to play even the Beatles because it's part of me as well. And so in the record, I'm doing Tamonangue, music from the plains, music from the coast of Venezuela, traditional songs. I call it like a foundation, because exactly they are my foundation, and for me it's like a tribute to that music, that when I'm coming back to the subject of identity, as I said with Familia Atlantica, I came with this idea of the identity of the Atlantic, that story that connects all of us, the connection between the 3 continents, and the conquest and the mixture, and the story of love and pain, that we are all connected on that, and we are all part of it then and now. With this record and coming back to this repertoire, I'm thinking more, or the realization is that the identity is nature. Because, for example, when I sing about rivers and about the sun, when I see the Thames River, I love it. So when you love a river, you love all the river, even the one in Siberia, even whatever. And then when you learn through this music to love a tree or to, I feel the same reverence in everywhere where I am. And that's what I consider really amazing for me at this moment, this realization. And this is what the invitation that I want to give to, what is the camera here? Give to everyone. Realize that without nature we are no one. We wouldn't have a place where to stand. And through nature, all these political divisions, they don't exist. Because, the sun is gonna put the lights on all of us, regardless of our passport or location on planet Earth. And same with the moon and the stars and the trees and the air. And so this is the invitation, realize what is really relevant.
And in terms of purveying song, the way you offer song, I had the pleasure of seeing you in the summer at the All About Love Festival, and I'd only seen you once before 8 years ago at Elves in the Woods, which I really enjoyed as well. So it was amazing to see the transition for 8 years later to how you presented your songs this year. And how did that come about? Because it was almost like how could I put it? It was more of a kind of shamanic feel to it. Was this intentional? Did you go about presenting the songs in a different way?
Yeah.
Or was it natural? Did it just naturally evolve that way?
I think it naturally. I mean, the thing is that there are so many aspects of me musically. You can, like, the repertoire of music from the plane, it's, vast, as, it's so big, and the same, and from different places. I just wanted, to narrow down, with the shamanic aspect of it, is like, as I said before, what is it's just saying in Spanish, hilo conductor, what it connects all the dots. And for me, the awareness that I've got now is nature. And nature is relevant to all of us, in whatever point of the planet Earth that you stand. That's why, and I love the thing that I have, but I wouldn't expose it before, the shamanic practices, is because what you make the reverence to is to the earth, the acknowledgement, just to feel where you are standing up is already really grounding. And if you ask a question if you ask your question, I'm going to invite you to say Earth, how can I contribute you? You will feel the answer from the earth saying, just be happy, just flourish, just expand. The earth always wants, the best for us. So bring it, that awareness, and they make it very clear on my performance. It's, this is what I decided, and this festival, it was perfect for that. And this is where I'm at now.
Let's have another song.
Another song. What should I'm gonna play this song which I love so much. We also talk about death, and I love it, and I sang it all the time. It's also a traditional song from Venezuela, because I remember when I heard this song for the first time, and the verse says, all in life is a lie, only death is the truth. And I was like, whoa, how can this be that? Everything is a lie, but death is truth. And for me, then I realized that at the point of death, when someone that you love die, or even someone that you met, once I met someone for 3 seconds and this person died, in a train, you feel that, oh my God, what is really relevant, which is, what did I say? Did I express my love? What did I say to that person? So I think this put everything in perspective.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, you're still recording the album at the moment? Do you know what it's going to be called?
I think I'm gonna call it Foundation. I like the word foundation.
Foundation.
Yeah, foundation. Yeah.
Foundation, okay. And you've got a lot of musicians involved as well? Or?
Yeah.
It's the same label as before, the Family Atlantic?
No. It's my Zoom. Another record label.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool one as well.
Mm-hmm. And when do you think the album's going to be out?
I think it's gonna be out by April. Yeah, April, May.
Good. So it's, in a way, it's the first album you're doing that's quite traditional?
Yeah. Exactly. It's the first one.
Yeah.
After I said, no, we'll never do that.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Great, okay. Good, well, I look forward to hearing that.
Thank you.
Maybe we can just close off with that first tune, just the kind of instrumental version, just to just jam on it
Okay.
a bit, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
Thank
Gracias.
you.
Yeah.
A la orden.
Good, yeah.